a video of me using up a few things. So I have, over the last few days, accumulated some things which I really kind of quite need to do something with. And I was also out in the freezer and I noticed something that I had in the freezer for a while that also kind of needs using up. So, just chopping this onion while I'm talking. Because I think I should be more productive rather than just waffling. I should be doing something at the same time. So, I'm going to do a rice dish. So, like most rice dishes, always a good start is an onion. In fact, most savoury cookery, it's a good start. An onion is a good start with most things. It's one of those base flavours which you don't really notice it's there, but you notice if it's not there. So, I'm going to fry off this onion in this pan, which I've already had some things in. It'll be a little bit caramelised, but meh. I'm only cooking for me, so I'm not particularly bothered if things go a little bit too dark. So, yeah, I've just been frying off some halloumi from another video. So, we need to use the halloumi up. And I fried the halloumi in the oil from these 2 tins of tuna. So we're going to use this tuna up as well. So we'll just put that extra bit of oil in there as well. All that extra flavour. I was going to use mackerel, so I always tend to have a few tins of mackerel in the cupboard, like that. I always tend to have a few of those, but I was going to use those, but I ended up buying myself some fancy tuna for a comparison. So we might as well use the tuna up in this. And then I went in the cupboard and I bought some sushi rice ages ago. I'm not going to make sushi. I think it'd be kind of. It takes years to learn how to make sushi. I think for me to have a go, it'd be kind of a little bit insulting. So I'm not gonna make any sushi out of it. I kind of thought, well, let's use it like a risotto and see if it works like a risotto rice. I have got some risotto rice, but you might as well use that and see what happens. And then, from ages ago, I made some. Ooh, that lid needs changing. I made some preserved lemons. So we could really do with doing something with these while we're here. So we can put some preserved lemons in. I kind of thought that'd be kind of quite nice. Preserved lemons with what we call it, with tuna, with fish. I kind of thought, well, yeah, that should work. And I put preserved lemons in a rice dish before, and it worked. So they're salty and umami. They must be 3 years old. These maybe 2. So I'll just use the actual rind, not the inside. I don't think I'll use that, but I might puree that up. So we'll just, for flavour little bonds in it, we will just dice that up like that. Can you see? Yes, you can see. So we'll just dice that up like that, and we'll put maybe one and a half lemons worth in there. And then I was rooting around in the freezer, and I was cooking fish for a function a few weeks ago, and there was excess stock left over from cooking the fish. So I had that in the freezer, and I kind of thought, oh, maybe that could do to use up as well. And I think I actually cooked the salmon. Don't tell my customers. I actually cooked it in ham stock. So I had some ham stock left over. So I think I cooked the salmon, poached it in the oven. That's not really poaching if you do it in the oven, like in a covered container. And I think I used the ham stock because it's got loads of flavour to it, and then kind of like used it to make the sauce out of. But I do have but there was obviously excess cooking liquid left over. So this is a mixture of salmon and ham stock. Started out as ham stock and then turned into like a fish cooking liquor stroke sauce type of thing. So we'll use that to cook it. And we'll use the, what ratios we're going to use? We'll use the 2 to 1, so 2 parts stock to 1 part rice. So we will, that onion's cooked enough. I don't like raw onion flavour. If I'm honest, I did have a pair of scissors. I don't like, I've lost my scissors somewhere. Must be a mess of this. I'll probably put them in the washer, that's all. No, let's just use a knife. So I'm not a fan of raw onion. I think it's awful. I think as a chef you kind of think, well, you really should like those type of things, but I don't. So, go on mugs. What have we got? So if I make plenty, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. So, there's be 2. So 1 mug. It's about, there's loads of rice. There's probably going to be more rice than anything else in this. So we need 4 mugs worth of stock, but we're just going to coat that rice. Get it all over the cooker. That's why my cooker's always dirty. We'll just coat that rice in that bit of juice from the tuna. And then there's this fat from the top of the stock. That can go in as well. So that'd be a bit of salmon fat and a bit of ham stock mixed together. So it'd be nice and flavoured. Some people think this is disgusting. I think it'll probably be very nice when it's finished. So, turn that temperature back up. Coat that rice in all that fat, just to help with the cooking process. And then we're back when we put it all together. I think as well, yes, it's kind of, no, it's not Kedgeree, is it? Even though we're going to put fish with rice, it is kind of like Kedgeree-ish. And then I kind of thought what we'll do is we might just cook a couple of eggs in it as well. So when it's just about ready, we might just drop a couple of eggs, make a hole in the rice, in a couple of places, and see if we can cook a couple of eggs like a shakshuka. Shakshuka? Like that. And I kind of put, because rice with eggs, that's nice, and fish with, and like smoked, like a smoked fish with eggs is nice as well, isn't it? And Kedgeree's fish with eggs, soft-boiled eggs in as well. So I kind of think, yeah, it should kind of quite work. But anyway, so we'll heat some stock up, and then we'll put it all together, and we'll cook it, and we'll show how it turns out. Stock is in. I didn't bother heating up the stock because I didn't want to create the mess. So what we're going to do, we're going to dot in this halloumi like that. I don't think this pan's going to be big enough. Not to worry. Keep a few bits of halloumi back because I'm a bit hungry, if I'm honest. I've been swimming and then I had other things to do. Those things always get in the way, don't they? And then, oh yeah, I put in 1 preserved lemon. Just the rind, not the pithy part. I suppose I could have, when I heated up the stock, I could have put the pithy part in with that and pureed it to kind of get that flavour, but it doesn't matter. I haven't put any salt in because the let's call it stock, the salmon fishy stock is kind of quite salty, and the preserved onions, lemons are kind of quite salty. It's probably sacrilege to waste this fancy tuna like that, but it's probably even more of a sacrilege to put it in a tuna sandwich. Oil in as well, because we want that flavour. I don't want to break up the tuna, I want it in chunks if possible. And then that's that. And then it's contained packet says that it's ready in, the rice is ready in 10 minutes, so we'll kind of see. But I'm going to do the up to the boil and then put a lid on it, and then a slow simmer on the back of the stove. It looks like it's coming up to the boil. And I'd also kind of quite like to get the rice crispy on the bottom, so when it's cooked, we'll give it a bit of a fry. When all the liquid is evaporated, we'll give it a fry and see if we can get that crust on the bottom, which they kind of, the Spanish like in a, I'm going to call it paella, but it's not, it's paella, or something along those lines. I can't even speak my own language, let alone anyone else's. So they like that crust on the bottom of the pan, so the rice goes a little bit crunchy and crispy, and I kind of think that's kind of quite nice in rice dishes. So that's coming up to temperature, and then I've got a lid. So when it's all bubbling like that all over, onto the back, really low heat, lid on, and then we're back in 10 minutes when it looks like it's ready, and then we'll see about dropping an egg in and see if we can poach an egg that way. I think that'd be kind of quite nice. Anyway, but this is just a video of me faffing around with some leftovers and using them up. Majority of the liquid has evaporated. I think what we can see around the side is the last of the liquid evaporating, but there's quite a lot of fat in it, which I'm happy with. Actually, I'm quite happy that there's quite an excess amount of fat in there. It's going to make it really tasty. Now, so I've turned the temperature up, so we're going to fry the bottom, and then it's just a case of something on the nose, and then it's just something of a case of timing when we put the egg in and when this will have fried on the bottom. I'm not that bothered about the rice potentially overcooking. I'm not bothered about that. I don't need my rice to be al dente or anything like that. I'm not a perfectionist like that. But it does smell particularly good, does this? It smells nice and fishy. So let's give it 5 minutes. The rice took 15 minutes, not the 10 that it said on the packet. And it's not gone super sticky or anything like that, which it probably would have done. Tastes nice. That's delicious, isn't it? So it would have gone sticky if we'd have moved it around, if we'd have agitated the starch on the outside of the pasta. So it's going to be quite a hard fry. We're going to crack an egg into it. Let's crack an egg in there. We'll just move that away slightly. That's not caramelising on the bottom, so that's fine. So we'll fit an egg in there. We'll fit an egg in there, I think. Yeah, you can really taste the preserved lemons. Just pack the rice down a little bit so it just creates a little bit of a well to hold the rice, and then we'll just move that over there. In retrospect, I would have put a little bit of turmeric in with the rice. I think that would have been nice. So, the farmer says the large eggs, they're a lot larger than large. I think those are extra large. But then he sells extra large eggs, and they're even bigger. So maybe just large for him is extra large to everyone else. That's going to be it. Well, that's okay. Saved that. Thought we'd lost that. So a little bit of shell out the way onto the compost, and then I think it will crisp up. Even if we put the lid on it, we'll just wash that fork so you can touch the egg. But I think if we put the lid on, it will steam those eggs and it will still fry on the bottom. I think. Let's try that little bit of tuna. Nice enough. Anyway, so we're back in 5 minutes when the bottom's gone crispy and the eggs are cooked. My egg. I've overcooked my egg. Not to worry. It's crispy on the bottom though. Let's have a look. Although, let's just dig into an egg first and see. Oh no! No. I have not cooked the egg. It's just the top that's cooked because of the pan being close to it. So we should take a picture. We'll take a picture. Not a very successful picture, but not to worry. Let's get this out and kind of have a see what we think. With a fork, just to get off that there, and we can see underneath if it has. It has on the outside. It's crisp on the outside, and it is crisp on the bottom. Yeah, that's fine. Just not in all places. Probably a little bit of a too big a pan for that burner. So the egg. There's a little bit of runny yolk, but not much. Let's see what it tastes like. That's lovely, that. Considering it's leftovers and things from the cupboard. That's lovely. That's delicious. I'm going to just, I'll pause. Yeah, so, cheese with tuna and rice and an egg and some preserved lemon. You can really taste preserved lemon. I think that should be a staple in lots of rice dishes actually. But slightly overcooked on the egg, but not to worry. So there we go, something that was made from the leftovers and things in the cupboard and Kedgeree inspired. Would be nicer with some parsley in it, but I wasn't going to go out and buy any parsley. And would be nicer with a softer egg, but not to worry. Not to worry, and probably a nice bit of turmeric in there would have been nice as well, or a bit of curry powder. But anyway, but there we go. Doesn't look like it, but that's a success and delicious.